I spontaneously met someone on a hiking trail outside of San Francisco. She's not from San Francisco, but she had some interesting observations about what she felt here during her first trip to the city. This was filmed January 22nd, 2021, during the pandemic.
Ignorant.
What's ignorant?
Western world. They take every single thing for granted. They take waking up in a warm bed every day. They take having a roof over their head. They take having multiple grocery stores to go to. They take every single thing for granted.
So, but your story is you've been traveling for 15 months.
Yeah.
So you haven't been ground down anywhere during this pandemic. Okay, so what's your thoughts about San Francisco? You've been here how many days?
I've been here about a week, a little less than a week, I guess 5 days. I've never been to San Francisco. I really like the fun parts about San Francisco, but there's a lot of fear mongering. People won't even make eye contact with you or even communicate with you. You kind of feel like it just feels like a lack of humanity in San Francisco. The fear is at an all-time high. I was in LA, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. It's very similar to how bad it is in LA, and just the crime and the attitude and the anger and the rage. It's just pulsating this city. It's kind of hard to see.
You can't see it from here. It looks beautiful, right?
So yeah, that's why when I came up here, I realized how nice it is to see the city from this perspective. But being in the thick of it, it's just kind of heartbreaking, to be completely honest.
It's and I'm sorry because I live here, and you have to see it like this. But the pandemic has 10x'd this element of it. I think it was always there to some degree, but it's just gotten 10 times worse.
I think that that's exactly kind of what the symbolism of life is, that the issues that people haven't been facing have always been there to some degree, but the pandemic has 10x'd them. And so San Francisco definitely has that capacity for sure.
What do you see in the country, though, in the U.S., since you've been back traveling around different states? What are your observations? I think you could teach us something because I haven't really been many places in the States recently.
I would say that the more, and everyone being forced to go inside, the more everyone is consuming the news, the more fearful everyone becomes. The news is propaganda. I mean, honestly, I learned this from my friend. I went to design school in New York City in my early 20s, and my friend was from China, and she was like, nobody in China watches the news. And I was like, oh yeah? And she was like, because they know it's propaganda. And I was like, oh really? And she was like, yeah, they don't consume this because they know that it's just trying to manipulate them. And she was like, why do people in the United States watch the news? And I was like, I'm not entirely sure, but literally my entire life, everyone wakes up, they turn on the news in the morning, and they claim it's because they want to find out what the weather is, and then they all just absorb whatever the news is telling them, and then you marinate on it for the rest of their days. That's what a lot of people are doing in the country and have been doing because you've been forced to go within. I do spiritual work myself and realize that this is mirroring what people need to actually be doing in their lives, because the way that our world has been working this entire time actually isn't working for people. Every single person, where you're denying parts of yourself in life, where you're forcing yourself to continue doing things, all of the hate and the anger and the inner work that you're not allowing yourself to do, being forced to go within this time was mirroring where everyone needs to go within in themselves so that you can heal these wounds, so you are no longer controlled by the system. Every person's programmed from the minute that you're born.
Sure.
Your subconscious is programmed from the ages 0 to 7. So if you don't go back in and realize the programming that you're holding from all of your generations and everything, you're not going to heal those wounds. Instead of people really doing a lot of the inner work that they've needed to do this during this time, everyone's been numbing. Honestly, that's what I've seen all over the country. Everyone's numbing in some way, shape, or form. Everyone's smoking more weed or drinking more alcohol or having more sex. They're not actually avoiding the issues that they actually need to be doing. They are finding another way to keep pushing it away, keep pushing it away. I mean, they already came out saying that more people, if you are recognizing the patterns, more people got divorced during this pandemic than ever. Well, because it's forced you to actually realize, like, hey, maybe I'm not with the right person. More people left jobs or decided to create new jobs or started to create their own thing because they're realizing, I don't want to live my life this way anymore. So I've seen an influx of multiple things. People completely walking away from life that they've had before, realizing like, I don't want to actually live my life this way anymore. And also creating new things or moving in a new direction in their life. What I've done, I mean, I'm not supported in my family, moving away for 15 months and being on my own. Everyone thinks that I'm just lost my marbles and I'm off my rocker and blah, blah, blah.
You're the most human person I've talked to in a long time,
but
so thank you.
literally, I don't really care what they think because
Yeah, you shouldn't.
the problem is nobody's living their life for them anymore, and we need to start living our lives for us. And so I hope that with this pandemic, I can't focus on the people who are not looking in the mirrors that they need to be looking in. I can only focus on the people who are looking in the mirrors and being like, I want to be better. I want to live better. I want to do better. And I have seen a lot of people actually doing that and waking up. Yes, there's been hardship in this time, but we live in a world where there's online everything. So
Sure.
Create something that you can create an income from online. And if that brings you happiness, or maybe don't bring income in from it, just make happiness from it. If you're a dancer, make YouTube videos about dancing. I don't care. Make TikTok videos about dancing. Whatever it is that lights a fire in you, do something about it, because it lights a fire in you for a reason.
And your name?
It's KIRBY'S.
KIRBY'S.
Yeah.
Cool name.
Thanks.
So I just met Kirby. I was making another video actually, and it was the first person that really looked at me or smiled at me. I know I'm a scary looking dude, but
Or didn't have a mask on.
didn't have a mask at distance, outside, and it was just nice to talk, just talk with someone. Haven't been able to do it in the lovely city of San Francisco for quite some time.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, Kirby. Thank you.
Thank you.
Where's the next journey? Where's the next place?
I'm going down to Joshua Tree, then Sedona, then Austin, then back to Mexico. Because actually, when I was in Mexico for 3 months at the end of December, it didn't feel like there was a pandemic at all, and I'm trying to live my life like that.
They're a little more chill.
Yeah, everyone's just happy.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.